This video is scripted and edited and written by Nehor Dash. This video is scripted and edited and written by Nehor Dash. Top 10 Diplomats of India which written by Nehor Dash for public domain purpose only. List of notable or famous diplomats from India, with bios and photos, including the top diplomats born in India and even some popular diplomats who immigrated to India. If you're trying to find out the names of famous Indian diplomats, then this list is the perfect resource for you. These diplomats are among the most prominent in their field, and information about each well-known diplomat from India is included when available. This historic diplomats from India list can help answer the questions: who are some Indian diplomats of note? And who are the most famous diplomats from India? These prominent diplomats of India may or may not be currently alive, but what they all have in common is that they're all respected Indian diplomats. Use this list of renowned Indian diplomats to discover some new diplomats that you aren't familiar with. So here is our list which written by Nehor Dash for public domain purpose only. 1. Subramaniam Jaishankar. 1. Subramaniam Jaishankar. 1. Subramaniam Jaishankar, born the 9th of January 1955, is an Indian diplomat who is serving as the Minister of External Affairs of the Government of India since the 30th of May 2019. He is a member of the Bharatiya Janata Party. He is a Member of Parliament in the Rajya Sabha since the 5th of July 2019, representing Gujarat. He has previously served as the Foreign Secretary from January 2015 to January 2018. He joined the Indian Foreign Service in 1977 and during his diplomatic career spanning over 38 years, he served in different capacities in India and abroad, including as a High Commissioner to Singapore, 2007-09, and as Ambassador to the Czech Republic, 2001-04, China, 2009-2013, and USA, 2014 to 2015. Jaishankar played a key role in negotiating the Indo-US Civilian Nuclear Agreement. On retirement, Jaishankar joined Tata Sons as the President, Global Corporate Affairs. In 2019, he was conferred with Padma Shri, India's fourth highest civilian honour. On the 30th of May 2019, he was sworn in as a cabinet minister in the second Modi ministry. He was made the Minister of External Affairs on the 31st of May 2019. He is the first former Foreign Secretary to head the Ministry of External Affairs as the Cabinet Minister. 2. Syed Akbaruddin. 2. Syed Akbaruddin. 2. Syed Akbaruddin is a retired Indian civil servant from 1985 batch of the Indian Foreign Service and served as India's permanent representative at the United Nations at New York from January 2016 to April 2020. He had previously served as official spokesperson of India's Ministry of External Affairs from January 2012 to April 2015 and was Indian representative at IAEA from 2006 to 2011. He is currently serving as the Dean of Kautilya School of Public Policy. Akbaruddin is a 1985 batch Indian Foreign Service officer. In his distinguished career spanning over 34 years, Akbaruddin has served in different capacities in India and abroad, starting his first foreign assignment in Cairo, where he also learned Arabic. He also served twice in Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh from 1988 to 1992 and in Jeddah from 2000 to 2004 as Consul General of India, and he is rightly considered an expert on the West Asia issues in India. At the International Atomic Energy Agency in Vienna, he was on deputation for 4 years and returned to India in 2011. He was the director at the Foreign Secretary's Office of the Ministry from 2004 to 2005. Akbaruddin was the official spokesperson of the Ministry of External Affairs of India from January 2012 to April 2015 and was succeeded by Vikas Sarup. He headed the External Publicity and Public Diplomacy Division of the Ministry in the capacity of Joint Secretary to Government of India. He was also the Chief Coordinator for the India-Africa Summit in October 2015. He was later Additional Secretary in the Ministry from April 2015 to September 2015. In November 2015, Akbaruddin was appointed as India's permanent representative to the United Nations in New York, succeeding Ashok Kumar Mukherjee. 3 Shivshankar Menon 3 Shivshankar Menon 3 Shivshankar Menon, born 5 July 1949, is an Indian diplomat, who served as National Security Advisor of India under Prime Minister of India Manmohan Singh. He had previously served as the Foreign Secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs. Prior to that he was Indian High Commissioner to Pakistan and Sri Lanka and Ambassador to China and Israel. He is currently visiting Professor of International Relations at Ashoka University. Shivshankar Menon hails from Ottapalam in Palakkad district of Kerala. He comes from a Nair family of diplomats. His father Parapil Narayana Menon served as the ambassador to Yugoslavia in his last days. His grandfather K.P.S. Menon, Sr., was India's first foreign secretary, while his uncle K.P.S. Menon, Jr., was the former Indian ambassador to China and 15th foreign secretary. His great-grandfather Sir C. Sankaran Nair was a president of the Indian National Congress in 1897. Till this date, the only Malayali to hold so. Menon did his schooling from Scindia School, Gwalior, and later did his MA in History from the St. Stephen's College, Delhi. 4 Venu Rajamoni 4 Venu Rajamoni 4 Venu Rajamoni, born 12 November 1960, is an Indian diplomat who belongs to the Indian Foreign Service. On September 17, 2021, he has assumed the post of Officer on Special Duty, External Cooperation, with the rank of Chief Secretary, in the state government of Kerala. Also, he is serving as a concurrent faculty of diplomatic practice at the Jindal Global Law School of the O.P. Jindal Global University, Sonipat, Haryana. He was the ambassador of India to the Netherlands from 2017 to 2020. He was also the permanent representative of India to the Organisation for Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, OPCW, in The Hague, as well as responsible for India's relations with the International Court of Justice, ICJ, and the Permanent Court of Arbitration, PCA. In addition, he held the post of Press Secretary to the President of India during the tenure of President Pranab Mukherjee from 2012 to 2017. A career diplomat with more than 3 decades of experience, scholar of international relations and former journalist, Rajamoni held several key positions in India and abroad before retiring from service in November 2020. Born in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala, he completed his primary education there before moving with his parents to Kochi. He holds degrees in politics from Kerala University and law from Mahatma Gandhi University, Kerala, and a postgraduate degree in international studies from Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. 5 Nirupama Menon Rao 5 Nirupama Menon Rao 5 Nirupama Menon Rao, born 6 December 1950, is a retired civil servant of 1973 batch Indian Foreign Service cadre who served as India's Foreign Secretary from 2009 to 2011, as well as being India's ambassador to the United States, China and Sri Lanka, High Commissioner, during her career. In July 2009, she became the second woman, after Chokila Iya, to hold the post of India's Foreign Secretary, the head of the Indian Foreign Service. In her career she served in several capacities including Minister of Press, Information and Culture in Washington, D.C., Deputy Chief of Mission in Moscow, stints in the Mayor's Joint Secretary, East Asia and External Publicity, the latter position making her the first woman spokesperson of the Mayor, Chief of Personnel, Ambassador to Peru and China, and High Commissioner to Sri Lanka. Nirupama Rao was born in Malappuram, Kerala. Her father, Lt. Colonel P.V.N. Menon, was in the Indian Army. Her mother, Miempat Narayanikutty, was the first woman college graduate in her family, obtaining a B.A. Mathematics, Honours, degree from Madras University in 1947. Her sisters, Nirmala and Asha, are medical doctors by profession. Nirmala pursued a career in the Indian Navy, retiring in 2013 as Surgeon Rear Admiral. 6 ENM Gambhir 6 ENM Gambhir 6 ENM Gambhir is posted as Counselor in the Permanent Mission of India to the United Nations in New York. She is a 2005 batch IFS officer and is presently posted at the Permanent Mission of India to the UN at New York. Counselor, Permanent Mission of India to the United Nations in Union, Enam Gambhir is representing India for the Security Council reform, counter-terrorism, cyber-security issues, Security Council, regional issues, all special missions including those approved by UNSC, NAM coordination and outreach universities colleges, coordination-related topics. She rose to prominence in Indian media outlets after she condemned the actions of Pakistan in United Nations Assembly. Gambhir attacked Pakistan on the topic of sponsorship of terrorism. She stated that the land of Taxila, the greatest site of learning in ancient India, is now host to the Ivy League of terrorists around the globe. 7 Sanhajubi the young diplomat who hit out at Pakistan for sheltering terrorists at Lunga. India's first secretary at the UN, Sanhajubi, is a 2012 batch IFS officer, the first of her family to join civil services, after clearing the UPSC exam on her first attempt. First Secretary Sanhajubi replies to Pakistan at the INVA in New York. Photo, PTI, a young Indian diplomat delivered a blistering response to Pakistan on Friday, exercising the country's right to reply after Prime Minister Imran Khan raked up the issue of Kashmir in his address to the United Nations General Assembly. Unga, Pakistan is an arsonist disguising itself as a firefighter, and the entire world has suffered because of its policies as the country nurtures terrorists in its backyard, India's first Secretary Sanhajubi said. Jubi, a 2012 batch IFS officer, is the first of her family to join civil services, after clearing the UPSC exam in her first attempt. She had wanted to become an IFS officer ever since she was 12 years old, and was motivated by her interest in global affairs and a penchant for traveling. 8 Vidisha Mitra Indian diplomat Vidisha Mitra elected to UN Advisory Committee on Administrative and Budgetary Questions. Vidisha Mitra in the group of Asia-Pacific states. Mitra, first secretary in India's permanent mission to the UN, obtained 126 votes. The 193-member General Assembly appoints members of the Advisory Committee. Members are selected on the basis of broad geographical representation, personal qualifications and experience. Follow us on advertisement. Update D, November 7, 2020, 11:53 IST. In a significant victory for India at the United Nations, Indian diplomat Vidisha Mitra was elected to the UN Advisory Committee on Administrative and Budgetary Questions, ACABQ, a subsidiary organ of the General Assembly in the group of Asia-Pacific states. Mitra, first secretary in India's permanent mission to the UN, obtained 126 votes. The 193-member General Assembly appoints members of the Advisory Committee. Members are selected on the basis of broad geographical representation, personal qualifications and experience. Mitra was one of 2 nominated candidates from the group of Asia-Pacific states. In the group, Ali Mohammed Fayek Eldabag of Iraq drew 64 votes. The 5th Committee of the General Assembly, which deals with administrative and budgetary issues, recommended Mitra to the Assembly for a 3-year term beginning January 1, 2021. The victory comes as India gets ready to sit in the UN Security Council as a non-permanent member for a 2-year term beginning January 2021. India's permanent representative to the UN Ambassador T.S. Murthy said in a video message that Mitra was elected on Friday to the UNACABQ in a strong display of support by UN member states. He expressed confidence that Mitra will bring an independent, objective and much-needed gender-balanced perspective to the functioning of ACABQ. 9 Paulamai councillor in the permanent mission of India to the UN, hit out at Pakistan saying that the country foments a culture of violence at home and across its borders. Pakistan's UN envoy Munir Akram made references to Jammu and Kashmir, the Babri Masjid demolition and construction of the Ram Temple in Ayodhya during his remarks to the virtual Forum on Culture of Peace. Responding to his statement, Paulamai said, Pakistan's deplorable human rights records and discriminatory treatment of religious and ethnic minorities is a cause of persistent concern for the international community. 10 Mijitovinito 10 Mijitovinito 10 Mijitovinito Terrorism and ethnic cleansing are Pak's only glory. Indian diplomat Mijitovinito at UN. Mijitovinito from Nagaland, First Secretary at India's UN mission to the United Nations, slammed Pak PM Imran Khan for his comments by Sentinel Digital Desk, 26 September 2021, 09 p.m. 5 New Delhi. Mijitovinito from Nagaland, First Secretary at India's UN mission to the United Nations, claimed Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan's virtual address at the 75th Inga to be full of lies, misinformation and warmongering. Vinito slammed Imran Khan while exercising India's right of reply to his remarks during the 75th session of the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, at UN headquarters on Friday, September 25, 2020. He said that the only crowning glory that Pakistan has to show to the world for the last 70 years is terrorism, ethnic cleansing, majoritarian fundamentalism, and clandestine nuclear trade.